38 minutes of time on my phone. I think I'm ready to talk about it. Okay. So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to do a life update. I want to talk about some things. I want to be a little vulnerable and kind of let you in on what I've been doing, what I've been contending with, and things like that. Because I think it's important, because I always say I think it's important, but it is important. But the thing is with this is that this is what I've been saying lately, is that life is a cycle, and I'm seeing the same cycle come back around. And so I really want to talk about it, because if I'm going through it, I know that probably someone else is going through it. And so that's what I want to talk about in this video, and give you a little update, life update on how things are going to be moving forward. So if you are interested in a video like that, please keep watching. So hey guys, welcome back to the video. I'm going to try to make this short because I only have 38 minutes left to film on my phone anyways. So yeah, so I took a little break from everything, not just YouTube, social media, people. I literally left my house yesterday for the first time in 2 weeks. And there's a reason for it. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. And it's really, it was really hard for me, to be honest. But it all started with a conversation with my business coach. Now, if you do not know, I was standing up a new business, and was is the operative word there. I was standing up a new business, and I was really excited for it. It's a great idea, and I still believe in it. And I still believe it's a great idea. However, after the conversation with my business coach, it made me really evaluate life, everything. And it was huge. It was something that I didn't expect to hear, but it was something that I needed to hear. And so pretty much, she was saying that, even though, she pretty much diagnosed me with imposter syndrome, and I'm sure that a lot of people have heard of that. And for me, I had heard of it. Obviously, I'm in the self-development and self-improvement space, and I love this space, right? And I'm addicted to it. But I kind of seen it in myself, but not so much. And when she brought that up, because my partner was on the call with me, and we were doing the business together, and it was interesting how she was saying things and bringing that up, and it was going all over my head. And then after the conversation, and I picked up on some things, because she kept saying, is this a passion of yours? It seems like business is a passion of yours, and your lifestyle and your family is a passion of yours, but is this specific thing a passion of yours? And I couldn't say yes. All I could say is that I wanted a certain lifestyle for myself and my family. And so I was picking up on some things, and after the conversation, my partner and I had a conversation, and what he gathered from that conversation was completely different from what I had got. And I was like, that's interesting, because we were in the same conversation, and how he got something completely different. And pretty much, I found myself with that business going down a road in which I was creating a life, and I talk about it on this channel, where it's going to be taking away from a more softer, feminine lifestyle, in which I created, and I thought I had mentally prepared myself for. But this is where the cycle comes in, because then I found myself in the cycle of creating the life in which I thought I had got away from, if that makes sense. It's crazy. Now I trying to articulate it, but even then my world at that time felt like it was crashing down, because I'm like, I do want this, but I don't want this. But I do want, like, I was so confused, and I felt like my life was going one way. And after that conversation, like, coming to not that, like, what I thought I was going to hear. I thought she was going to give me some tips and strategies on how to make it work. And then I realized that no, I really enjoy teaching people how to create freedom in their life, in which the business model was more of a freedom seeking business model for nail technicians, beauty technicians, and things like that. And so I like that part, but me actually standing up the business, because nails and beauty was not my trade or passion, wasn't the thing. It was actually teaching people how to be more free in their business. And it came down to the conclusion when she said the imposter syndrome, that I was in a space where I didn't feel like I could teach people to do that. It's crazy. And so, you know, I had went through the hiring process, the interview process, I had hired people and things like that. And now, like, I had did all this and built the brand, the website, and everything. And now I was like, now what? And so I started to fill into what she was saying and take it in. But it was really, really hard when you built something to really kind of take a lot of steps back and then look at it and like, is this the life that I truly want? Because it wasn't creating a softer life for me or an easier life. And it honestly, I didn't need to do it. I was just creating this burnout cycle that I was starting to repeat, that I had done in the past, where I had experienced burnout and I had experienced exhaustion and being unfulfilled and things like that. But I was getting back into that cycle. It was really, really eye-opening when I thought about everything and kind of took a lot of steps back and looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, I was going down that road again. And so, yeah, and then I had experienced, I don't know what it was. I think it was honestly over exfoliation. I'm not quite sure. But it was just kind of perfect timing though, where my face just broke out. Like, I was kind of experiencing a breakdown, more depression, because it was kind of embarrassing because I had to tell the people that I hired, like, you know, we're going in a different direction, and I had started promoting it and everything. And so it was quite embarrassing. And then on top of that, my face just went crazy. Now, I've done a video on my channel talking about how I cleared my breakout, because I had experienced this before, again with the cycles. I had experienced something that was so similar before, and I experienced it again, like the same thing. As a matter of fact, went back to my channel. I was like, because I did a video on how I cleared it up. And I was like, well, let me go back to the video that I did, because it was a few years ago when I was back in New York. So I was like, let me go back to the channel, the video, and see what I did to clear it up, because it went haywire. I will put some pictures for you guys to see, but it was bad. Bad. And so I was like, I was gonna go back to the video. It's hummingbirds. I was gonna go back to the video, and I had took it down for, I don't know what reason. I guess I was trying to rebrand, but I had took it down, so it wasn't there. So I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out what happened. Now I have this thing where instead of like having, and I preach all the time on this channel, like, you know, a softer life, allowing and surrendering a more feminine energy lifestyle, but I often can go into, you know, hyperactivity, over performing and things like that. And that's where the whole business thing came into. And I started doing that even with my skincare. So I believe that what triggered it, and what triggered it before too, was over exfoliating. I was getting too too hyper focused on things. And so that happened, and it was really hard. It, just like it did before, it came back again, this time years later. And then it was hard. This time was really hard. And I went down this rabbit hole of learning what it was, and actually taking a step back and actually not being so hyper focused on it, but like, I just sat with myself and asked myself, like, what is it? And the answer came to me, and it was candida on my face. And it was really interesting. And so once I figured it out, I did the steps in which to cure that, and literally like the next day it was starting to heal. I thought it, because a lot of the information on it was it said that it was gonna take like 4 to 6 weeks to heal. Literally like the next day it was starting to heal. And I just realized so much in all of this is these patterns that keep showing up in my life, and having to learn the lesson, right? And I had an intention for my life and my family is to create a more softer, slower, more fulfilled, connected life. And the pattern, the subconscious pattern started, like programming started showing up again. And this is where I got out of alignment, and I had to get back in alignment. And this is where life is a cycle. It will keep showing you things. It will come back around, and you need to get the lesson. Just like the same thing, the same exact thing happened with my skin. I actually did a video on it, like I'm doing right now, but I thought it was something else, and I went down this rabbit hole, which actually explained a lot of other things, especially when it came to my diet and my allergies, and so much more than just that I wanted answers for. And now I'm more interested in, doing things that I'm passionate about, doing things that bring me joy, doing things that make me feel good and make me healthy, thriving, and these kind of things. And so even though I had to pivot from that business, I started Impact You Speaks, which is the podcast that I started, and I also am starting to host events again, which always brought me joy, was something that I always talked about on this channel as well. And I had got away from it because, I don't know, I just got away from things and started chasing certain things that I felt like other people were doing, and that was bringing them the life that they wanted and stuff like that, and instead of like following my heart, all the things I talk about on this channel. And it's so interesting how it led me back to podcast hosting, as I've done podcasts in the past, which I love. It's a true desire of mine, and I'm doing Impact You Speaks. I'm meeting people, I'm learning, and Impact You Speaks is on transformative real stories that people have transformed their life. Now, I talk about all the time how I transform my life on this channel, but the cycle comes back around, and it's about, are you going to make the same choice, or are you going to make a different choice, right? Because the transformation happens, but it might come back around as like, are you really wanting this life? Was this the decision that you really wanted? And yeah, and that, my friends, is a huge life update for me. Now I am on different paths. I've healed. I'm still healing, actually, but yeah, it's just crazy how life repeats itself. And I talk about transforming my life and how my life looks completely different, and how it's continually unfolding in the way in which I have to be intentional. And so I'm doing Impact You Speaks, we're doing the podcast, we're doing events. We have some events coming up with some pretty dope people, And yeah, and I love seeing transformation in other people, and that's why I do this channel. That's why I do the events that I do. The one that we have coming up is Thriving a Different Way with Dr. Temple Grandin. She speaks on autism and animal welfare, and how she didn't speak until she was 3.5 years old, and now she's a scientist and professor at, I think it's Colorado State University. And so, yeah, how that transformation, and how, like, I want to bring those kind of things to the masses, and how people can really truly transform their lives, and how living intentionally will keep you on that path of up leveling, going to the next level, staying on the transformational path, on the path in which you intend for your life, and up leveling it. So it's so powerful when you can see, when life comes back around, you can see the patterns in life, and you're like, oh no, I've done this before, right? I've done this before, right? Yeah, I'm gonna make a different choice this time. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And so I'm going to be doing the podcast. I will be still doing this YouTube channel as well. And I really want to dive into real, true transformation, and how people can live in their bliss and joy, and experience more freedom in their life. And that's what I'm about. That's my purpose, if there is one. I feel like purpose is just something that's allowing us to get better at recognizing the patterns and up leveling to making different choices, or making the same choice in which we need to make. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, you guys, that's all for this video. I just wanted to share that. If you're into transformation, definitely check us out at Impact You Speaks. Subscribe to that channel as well. We're going to talk about wealth building, finances, confidence, business, these kind of things. So if you're interested in those kind of things too, definitely follow us there. But I did want to share, because I am dedicated to living a more feminine energy, softer life, and how sometimes, even though that's my intention, we can find ourselves falling back into patterns that take us off course. So anyways, you guys, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.